Hello, I gotta tell you, man. So I want to tell you about the dreams and all that, but first I gotta tell you what happened to me this morning. Crazy things occurred this morning. So I woke up at 5:30 to see that my clock hadn't been set, and I just woke up naturally at 5:30. And I was like, wow, that's weird. And then I realized I didn't remember anything from last night, like barely. I mean, I remember taking a nap, but I don't remember waking up from the nap and anything like that. It was confusing. So I got up and I was like, I guess I'm not going to tell my mom about this because, she's going to think I was on drugs and I wasn't on drugs last night. But if I tell her, like, hey, I don't remember anything from last night, what happened? She's going to get suspicious. There's a lot of noise going on back there in the living room, but anyway. So, I went to the kitchen and I noticed that, my mother hadn't put the pill in my pill box, not the pill, but, my Vyvanse for ADHD. So I had to wake her up and tell her that, and she's like, okay. She put it in there, and then I took it and all that. And, she has to do that so that I don't abuse them. Like, she can't just stock every day in the pill box with Vyvanse, or else I'll just take them all, So, I mean, not all at once, but, within a span of, a few days, so, yeah. I can take, a week's worth of drugs in, I don't know, 3-4 days, At the most, really. I mean, I like drugs and all that. That's my thing and all, It's sad if that's your thing, isn't it? Sad for that to be your thing, your thing, That's not the thing that should be the thing, right? You should have more things than that, and I do, but it's amongst them. It is certainly amongst my things. But anyway, I digress, I fucking digress, my guy, Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. So, had breakfast. Oh, and in the process of cooking my breakfast, it woke my mother up again. She had gone back to sleep, but then the smell woke her up. That happens sometimes where, I'll cook a delicious thing and the smell will wake her up out of sleep. So she got up and she was awake and she was in her chair watching the TV, or, no, watching, her computer and all that. It's more of a YouTube household than, a TV household in here. We really don't fuck with TV too much. We just fuck with, YouTube and stuff, and occasionally Netflix and all that. So yeah, yeah. But anyway, so eventually it came time for me to leave for school, and so I'm walking out the door with my uniform on, and I'm saying goodbye. I'm saying bye. She's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going to school. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "There's no school. It got canceled because of the weather." And then I remembered. I was like, "Oh, dude." Right, because she had told me last night that, yeah, I was in the middle of a nap, and then she wakes me up, and she says, "Good news, there's no school tomorrow." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go back to sleep then, and just sleep for the night, because I'm really tired," because I was really fucking tired, I was really tired. And so, yeah, so that's what happened. So yeah, and so in the process of that, she found out. I had to tell her, yeah, I don't remember anything from last night. And luckily she believed me that I wasn't on drugs. She just knew that I was really out of it in the sense of being tired. So, that kind of just fucked with my memory. You see, oversleeping can cause brain damage, as well as undersleeping for that matter. Your sleep is important, and if you don't do it right, you can get brain damage. It's unfortunate, but true. So that's probably why I'm so fucked up, because I either sleep way too much or way too little. No in between. No normal amounts of sleep for me. No sir, So that's why I'm so broken and all that, amongst the other reasons. But anyway, so that's the end of that story. But now I'll tell you about the fabulous dreams I had last night. So, had a dream that, my dad and my sister both got cars and they could both drive, which is, significant because in real life, my sister, I mean, not to, be a snitch and an asshole or anything, but she doesn't have a driver's license, even though she's an adult and all that. I'm not trying to be an asshole, because I'm the same way. I'm 18 now. I should have, at the very least, my learner's permit by now, but I don't. And that's just, it's kind of not my fault, but that's the thing. It's not really her fault either that she's in that situation, and I'm not going to get into it, but I don't want y'all to think that I'm hating on my sister or inviting y'all to hate on my sister, because she's literally, my favorite person in the world. So don't fuck with her and don't fuck with me or I'll beat you up and kill you. So, but like that's just, in Minecraft, mind you. That's the threat that I made. It's only in Minecraft, okay? So, you can't like tell on me. You can't snitch cuz you can't. That's why. So anyway, and my dad, he used to drive, but due to some circumstances, he no longer drives. So it was significant that both my dad and my sister were driving in the dream, um, and so we went out on the town. Now the odd thing was, it was understood that like this little thing. So okay, first I should tell you how it really worked out was that like my dad was the one who actually started driving me and stuff, but then by the end of, or by about the middle of it, it transformed into my sister, because this is a thing that happens to me a lot in my dreams, where one thing will turn into another thing, but like you won't really remember that it was the other thing previously. Like it just kind of happens seamlessly and you don't notice it until you wake up and remember your dreams. So that's a thing that happens to me a lot when I'm dreaming. But anyway, so it started with my dad and turned into my sister and all that. But also there was the matter of understanding. I understood that like this was going to be like kind of a one-time thing for some reason, even though they would always be like, they would always have their driver's licenses and they would always have their own cars, and they each had a car, like they, or maybe not, it's hard to remember, it's hard to really figure out, but anyway, yeah, they both, or whatever, like they would always have the car, but for some reason this was a one-time thing that wouldn't usually happen, and I didn't know why, and I still can't tell you why. It was just kind of understood within the dream. So like the whole thing of us going out and having fun was a little bit bittersweet, because I knew that I wouldn't be able to do this any old time. So yeah, but it was still fun. And so I went with my dad and we went to a bunch of places. Like I think we went to a restaurant, and we went to like, actually I think we went to like a few restaurants and the grocery store and some other places too that I can't remember. We might have went to the movies or something. I don't really know, but we just went out on the fucking town, man. It was fun. And then like, he turned into my sister, like not before my very eyes or anything, but it just sort of happened. Just, I don't know, I can't describe it, but anyway. And then I was hanging out with my sister and we were going to places, and I don't remember many of the places we went to either, but I remember one of the places was like, we went to this like, it was sort of like a gas station that had its own bar, which is like really trashy, but yeah. So they sold all this alcohol, and then you got to go to the bar, and you would like, so you'd pick your alcohol in the gas station part, and then you would go to the bar, and then you would purchase it there, because it was kind of like the bar part was like also like the cash register place. So they would give you a cup, and you would take the alcohol you were purchasing and you'd pour yourself a shot, right? Then you'd drink your shot, and then you'd take the rest of the bottle home or whatever, And that was how that worked. So that was interesting, but she was buying it for the both of us so we could both get a little drunk and all that. So yeah, it was fun. And yeah, I have a lot of dreams about substances, all this stuff, taking them, getting drunk, getting high, stealing drugs, stealing alcohol, lots of that. I have a lot of dreams like that, I wonder why, man, it really does it just completely escapes me. Why would that be a common thing within my dreams? I just don't know, I have no idea. Oh, no, I dropped him. No, sad. But anyway, so, yeah, and that was fun. And then we got home, and I was a little sad because it was over and all that. But then I just, it was so weird. This part is going to be hard to describe, but like, basically, it was like I was watching a YouTube video by ContraPoints. Do you know ContraPoints? She's this like trans woman who makes these sort of philosophical, political videos. They're like video essays. She's a member of like the community that's kind of known as like LeftTube or BreadTube, and it's just very leftist content, lots of political, philosophical stuff, and lots of like, there's going to be a lot of like very beautiful kind of sets, like, you know, backgrounds and things for the videos. There's going to be beautiful outfits and costumes. Sometimes there's going to be characters being played, sometimes like music. It's very artsy stuff, very creative, and very informative and funny as well. So yeah, that's the sort of thing, and that's what ContraPoints is. She's very cool. I highly recommend her channel. But anyway, and her real name is Natalie Wynn. You know, that's her name and all that, but the channel's name is ContraPoints. So yeah, anyway, so I had a dream. I was watching her video. I thought I was watching like an older video that I'd already seen, but as it started playing out, I realized, like, no, this is kind of new. Like, I don't really remember all this. And yeah, it was weird. And like, as it was going on, I also was simultaneously kind of experiencing it as like me and my sister and my dad. Well, no. Me and my dad came home. Like my sister turned back into my dad, and he was in the car, and my sister came out of the house to help us get all the groceries out of the car. So that was going on, but I was like perceiving it as like me and my dad were in these costumes that Natalie had. Like, we were a part of the video. It was fucking trippy, dude. Like, you had to have been there. This is why I wish that we could like share our dreams and stuff. Like, we could link our brains up so we could like show each other what we dreamt, because this shit is cool, you know. I love this stuff, you know. That's why I make these videos, these dream videos, because I'm fond of it. I'm fond of the mind and all the things it produces and creates and all that. So yeah, it was odd. And like, then after a while, my sister and my dad were just kind of gone, and it just fully went into the video. And like, so like, Natalie didn't. Okay, so she was, by this point, she was kind of a combination of Natalie and Abigail Thorne. Abigail Thorne is the trans woman behind the channel Philosophy Tube. So there's ContraPoints and there's Philosophy Tube, and these are two trans women, and they both do the bread tube, left tube kind of stuff with all the philosophy, politics, and like general queer theatrics, you know, affectionate, mind you, I mean that in an affectionate way. Queer theatrics are my cup of tea. They're not even my cup of tea, they're my like cup of McDonald's Sprite, you know, and I don't even like Sprite, so, but you get what I'm saying. I fuck with them is what I'm trying to say. The queer theatrics, I heavily fuck with them, man, you know, quite preposterously, man. So, like, yeah, and like, one of the things that, so by this point it was like a combination of Natalie Wynn and Abigail Thorne, and like this, so she was like this fusion of them. She was like playing a sort of like cabaret style non-binary person, because, you know, that's a thing, they play characters and all that, and they sometimes will have like different genders than like the gender of the you know, the actual like woman behind it, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, and this time this was like a cabaret style, but like a sort of almost like Mardi Gras-esque cabaret kind of thing, where there was like very vivid colors and like sparkles and sequins. It was crazy, dude. Like, non-binary person, and they were like singing this number, this sort of or not really singing, but sort of rhyming. It was kind of like poetry or something. It was odd, dude. But like, I was still seeing it as if it was like in my dad's driveway. Like, it was crazy. I know. I'm like a broken record, but it was just, you had to have been there, dude. Like, this description is not doing it justice. And like, after a while, she turned into like two separate people, and like, those two separate people were no longer Natalie Wynn and Abigail Thorne. They were now like two cisgender, or maybe cisgender, I don't know. I mean, they were two assigned female at birth, like, girls who were like teenagers, basically, you know? And they were like wearing these cute little outfits that were kind of like, I mean, they were beautiful. like, not just the outfits, but the girls, you know, or whatever. I don't know what their identities were, but anyway, these people, they were just very beautiful to me, and I was like, damn, I'm jealous of y'all. I wish I was y'all. And, like, they were wearing these outfits that were kind of reminiscent of, like, the clothes that, so you know that album, the album Help by the Beatles, where they're wearing those weird baggy shirt things and they're doing the poses and stuff? Well, it's like that was what these people were wearing. And they were doing the little Beatles poses. It was funny as hell. So yeah, and that was the end of the dream. But yeah, isn't that odd? Isn't that all very odd? Yes. Oh yeah, I remember there was one part in the middle of it, or no, kind of early on in the dream, where I was lucid dreaming, and I did the thing that I often like to do when I'm lucid dreaming, where I tell the person in the dream that they're not real, you know. So like, I told my dad, because we were in the grocery store, and I told my dad, I was like, hey, do you know, like, you're not real, like, I'm lucid dreaming, and you're a part of my dream. And he just didn't really react. This is what always happens, that when I get to this point where I tell the person that they're not real and everything, they just hardly react. And I also don't have much memory of like exactly what they say or anything. Like my brain stops recording properly at that point, but it does record the fact that like they don't really give a shit, which is super weird, cuz like you would kind of freak out if someone was telling you that you're not real, but no, they never really do, and I think it's just because, like, they're technically me, like, as in, they're created by my brain, so, like, if, like, me doesn't care, then, like, how could they care, because they're a part of my consciousness, you know? Or, like, a product of it or whatever, so it's like, yeah, I guess that's why they don't really give a shit. Um, so... My hair looks kind of fucky-wucky today. I need to wash it. I need to take a shower. I need to shake a tower. That's a spoonerism of take a shower. I love spoonerisms. Um, Squid. So that's the end of the Dreamos. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later, my little friend. Sayonara and all that. Bye.